Good afternoon, YouTube. 3:15 p.m. on the East Coast, 3:15 in New York City. Hey, hello, Nabul. How are you? Good to see you, Nabul, in the building. Just got through watching some of the Dr. Phil. Some of the Dr. Phil. I actually put it on pause. I've heard enough already, and I gotta tell you, man, it's just sickening. Hello, Michelle, Cheryl, good to see you guys. I turned all the notification noises off, so you guys will be pleasantly surprised that I made the adjustments for everybody on the chat, so this way we're not all distracted by the noises. So I made that correction. Thank you to everybody who pointed that out to me. Hi, Kathleen. Yeah, I'm watching it, but I'm watching on a delay. I'm watching it on a little bit of a delay. So just shocking to hear it. I mean, I knew that this was what was going to be coming of it, but it was just for me as a seasoned law enforcement guy. It's shocking for me. Hi, Beth. How are you? Really, I can't even tell you, man. I can't even tell you how much this irks me. This really irks me. Hi, guys. How are you? Really, really sickening to know if in fact this is the case, because again, I mean, this guy is a pathological liar. He's a narcissist. He believes his own stories. We could speculate all we want, but this is what officially the officials are going with. Hello from the UK. So I'm gonna do something here that I wasn't gonna do. I mean, I know that some of you guys have seen it, and I just know that some of the people, exactly, innocence was lost, that's for sure. I know some of the people in the UK and somewhere outside of the United States, it's hard to watch it, but I have it on DVR here. So I'm gonna just actually fast forward it, and I'm gonna watch some of it live with you guys. But I basically heard, I'm up to the part where it says that the daughter came in and then they broke to a commercial. So I'm going to go through those commercials, and I'm going to there is a Dr. Phil website. I mean, there's a Dr. Phil YouTube page, and just search Dr. Phil. And I'm not sure if the whole broadcast is on there. If you can't get it, Gavin, I'm going to play the audio. I can't play the video because it's copyrighted, but I'm going to be watching it here, and I'll see if we can. Okay, just let me know if you can hear the audio good. Okay, thank you for that, Lefty. We'll show that. There's the link for it. Right, how's the audio on this? Can you guys hear this okay?
He murdered Shannon in a fit of rage, claiming she killed their children.
Today, we're speaking to the legal team for Shannon's parents, Sandy and Frank Rusick, and revealing the devastating details that Shannon's mother says she was told about Chris Watt's full confession. Sandy's been told they have this argument, and she threatens you're not going to see the children again, so he attacks and kills her. Did Bella witness any of that?
From our understanding,
this is the attorney
Bella
for the
did
family.
Not witness the actual killing of her mother, Shanann. It was not until Chris was in the process of trying to dispose of Shanann's body, essentially wrapping her up in the sheet. While he was doing that, Bella walked in and asked what.
There's a link where you could watch it.
She knew something was wrong.
I'm seeing this for the first time, so I want to watch this.
Well, we've been told she's quite smart. Was quite smart, and knew something likely was up. And what he said was that mommy is sick, and we need to take her to the hospital to make her better.
To understand correctly, Bella walks in and sees him manipulating mother's body in a sheet, and then he says, she's sick, something's wrong with us, we gotta take her. And so 4-year-old and 3-year-old, of course, are like,
there's the link to it right there, guys. Anybody wants to watch it, you can leave and go and check that link.
He backs truck up and puts the body in it.
They're showing the video that everybody shows.
They caught the truck
Of
being
the truck
backed
backing
up
up.
over there. You can see in the background of the spot there. He's walking
Him
by.
going around in the shadows.
This is at the time.
Puts an
that
oil can in
we
there, or a
believe
gas can, it
this
looks like.
would have been happening.
We've all seen that 100 times.
Is that the speculation that that transfer might have been being made?
That's our belief, correct. When he was talking to the police with the neighbor in his living room, watching this video, and his recollection, or I should say his false
This
recount,
is Shanann's attorney, the
was
family's
that
attorney.
he was just loading up like a lunch pail, I think, and some thermoses or something.
Yeah, this is him watching that video with the neighbor, and
Yeah, this is
He's
what I
putting
was
his hands
going
on
to,
his
yeah.
head.
when you watch his
When they're showing the video, he's
reaction
like,
when he sees it. Yeah.
he's saying that he's
He
loading
doesn't even
tools and
look
all
at
that
it.
shit. Now he's putting his hands up.
This despair, hands on his head, like, oh my God.
I'm
Body
busting.
language is, oh my God.
You got me.
Right,
Sucking
I
his
think
bottom
the
lip
neighbor
in.
picked up on that
He's
too,
doing
that
this.
there was clearly something wrong with the way he was acting.
Yeah, it's like he's not wanting to watch this. He's got his head in his
Turned his
hands.
back. He turned his
And
back.
Then when you look at Chris's neighbor, just talking about his radar, that's when what you're talking about here.
All right, appreciate your time. Thanks. Hopefully come good. Yeah. No.
The neighbor's saying he's not acting right. He's never fidgety. We've seen this a million times. Telling the cop.
He's now saying what he did was he wrapped her in a sheet, put her in the truck.
On the floorboards, loads up Bella and Celeste into the vehicle and drives 45 minutes or so to where the bodies were eventually found.
45 minutes.
He takes Shanann's body, still in the sheet, and throws it in a dirt pile next to the truck. And he walks over and takes Cece's, Celeste's favorite blanket and smothers her to death. Then he takes her body, takes it out of the vehicle.
This
At
attorney's
this point,
almost
Bella
crying.
had, I guess, unbuckled herself from the vehicle, and he went back to the vehicle, and at that point Bella said, "Please, Daddy, do not do to me what you just did to Cece."
Coming up.
From what we've been told, there was a struggle from Bella. She had fought for her life. I think the worst for those girls on the drive there, he did load them onto the floorboards. How much were Bella and Cece aware of what might have been happening in those 45 minutes?
I can't.
Today on my podcast,
I can't do this.
by
I
Design,
can't.
Chapter no.
Horrific, man. Total horrificness, man. Oh my God. This guy is an outright monster, man. Outright. Sickening. Sickening. Sickening to hear it. You know, what we have to keep in mind, obviously, is that, you know, these two girls, the unborn son, Nico, you know, Bella, Celeste, and Cheyenne, these are the victims here, and this guy is just, you know, I heard the attorney say that he was talking to them like that he was happy to see them, like he was so happy he got a visitor, and he was happy to talk about it. When I saw and heard that in the beginning of this, you know, I didn't play this from the beginning for you guys, because all I needed to hear is what I just heard now. And for me, I mean, it wouldn't make anything different, but what I wished would have happened is he would have got pulled over during that 45-minute car ride, and at least one of the babies could have been saved. And I mean, I don't even know if that would have been good for her going forward in her life, because at 3 and 4 years old, you know, I don't think I remember a lot from when I was 3 or 4. It was vague memories, if anything. But she would have to live the rest of her life knowing that her father killed her. I don't know, Kathleen. I don't know. I'm going to look into that. And it depends on the statute in that state, and it depends on what the law is. But I wish that, hello Jamie, good to see you, James. I wish that that he would have gotten pulled over and gotten taken down with one of those. If we could have saved one of them, it would have been great. I mean, you know, going forward, I don't know how that would have been, you know, but that's not the case. This is just the what ifs. This is the what ifs. But I always feel like as a cop, I always want to try to save lives no matter what. But 45 minutes, you know, unbelievable, man. It's sick. Hi, Patio. How are you? So when the commercial's done, we'll put it back on. I can't show, obviously, the actual broadcast, but I can watch it. We could listen to it, and we could do... I can. Those links that were put up are supposed to be links to it. I'm going to get the broadcast. Guys, here's what I'm going to do for all of you. And if you got to give me a little bit of about an hour or so of time, I'm going to get the broadcast and I'll put it on my website, DutyRon.com. So I have my website is up and running, DutyRon.com, and I'll put a link on my website so you could watch the whole thing. If you're outside of the country, you'll be able to watch it, guys. So here we go. It's coming back on.
Confession. His daughter's final words.
He walks over and...
Let me just put this back. Hold on.
Is injured. Welcome back to our Dr. Phil exclusive. Chris Watts' full confession. His daughter's final words.
He walks over and takes Cece Celeste's favorite blanket and smothers her. And at that point, Bella said, "Please, Daddy, do not do to me what you just did to Cece." And then he killed Bella. From what we've been told by Michael Rourke in the DA's office, and that was revealed in his sentencing hearing, there was a struggle from Bella, I believe. There were signs that she had fought for her life. And I think of the things that have been hard for the Rusiks to comprehend and to accept in this reality, what happened to Bella in those last moments have been the hardest.
When Sandy was telling you this, what was her demeanor? How painful was this for her?
The hardest thing to hear was that she wonders if in Bella's last moments, seeing as she saw her mother being wrapped up in a sheet, she saw her sister being killed, if some of her last thoughts might have been, where's Grandma, where's Grandpa? I told her, I said, you know, this was not something that somebody could have seen coming.
The thing is, we can't see it coming because our minds don't have the capacity to go to that dark place. I mean, you can't see something you can't conceive of.
Personally, I think the worst for those girls on the drive there, it's a 45-minute drive, if he did load them onto the floorboards like we've been led to believe, obviously the question becomes, how much were Bella and Cece aware of what might have been happening in those 45 minutes on that drive to where their bodies were placed?
I've got a granddaughter and a grandson that, you know, are just starting school and stuff, and those are the images that stick in my mind.
My daddy is a hero. He helped me grow up stronger. Daddy, and love you.
And that little voice says, "Daddy, don't do to me what you did to Cece." Seriously, that's beyond psychopathology.
That is horrible.
That's just absolute, unbridled evil. You know, if there's a crime of passion, it's pretty easy to increase the cognitive load on a person if they're having to work everything out in the moment, as opposed to somebody that has premeditated something, thought it through, know they're going to be where they're going to be. And when you look at his interview, this is when he's being talked to before they found Shanann, Bella, and Cece murdered.
Wherever they're at, like, I have no inclination of where they're at right now. Like, I've exhausted, like, every friend that I know of, and every friend that I have.
These people are living amongst us, man. There's fucking sick people like this.
And it's just like,
living amongst us.
it's like, it's vanished. Like, she's not, like, when I got home yesterday, it was like a ghost town. Like, she wasn't here. Kids weren't here. I have no idea, like, where they went.
You see, at this point, he's distancing himself. He's referring to them as she and they. He's not talking about Bella and Cece and Shanann. He uses her name once, but then it's she and they. They're just gone. I mean, this is distancing language. He's using pronouns. He doesn't want to be familiar and talk about them. Do you get the sense that Chris Watts is telling the truth at this point? Does your gut level tell you that?
If you're asking us if, based off of our conversations with him, based off what we've heard of this recounting, if we believe that it is authentic and accurate in what actually happened that day, I have no reason personally to doubt it. The slight concern we'd have is that the only reason why he might lie about it is if he was protecting somebody.
He wants this to seem like this was about an argument because he was going to leave her. In other words, it was some sort of crime of passion, that he may have had a different plan or may have thought this through more than just that particular day.
Right. We had been told that the job site where the bodies were eventually found of Shanann and Bella and Celeste, that there were other people supposed to be at the job site that day, and that Chris had called them off. And so there is some speculation, like Tom is saying here, that this might have had some forethought to it.
Yeah, that's why I wanted to look at that tape of Bella.
Yeah, I'm not a fan of him
singing
either.
in the back seat. This is a little girl. This isn't a statistic. This is a little girl.
And I think that's what the family really hopes that people can see, is that there's so much of this that happens that we become a little hardened to it and a little immune. And they want people to know this was our daughter, these were our grandchildren, we loved them, that they were real people. And to watch him, it's incredibly scary to see how composed he appears to be, and that he can stand there and lie.
And look at him now in this freeze frame. I mean, you look at his forehead and around his eyes. There's no stress in this man's face at this point. And what I'm saying is, if this had not been premeditated, and he was having to put all this together in real time, that's when it's cognitive overload. And he's not here, which is why I don't believe this was a crime of passion. And you say that there is some indication that he may have called people off of that job site ahead of time. How does he call the people off?
From my understanding of it, there were multiple people working that job site that day. There was something that needed to be done at the job site. And so he essentially said, well, no, I got this, it's fine. You don't need to come around, I can handle this.
That wasn't found out until afterwards?
That's our understanding, yes.
Yeah, that makes sense. Let's roll this.
It doesn't, it's just earth shattering.
I can't even fucking
feel like
look at
this isn't
this
even
guy.
real right now. It's like a nightmare that I just can't wake up from. Bella was gonna start kindergarten
I want to just fucking...
next Monday.
Was going to start kindergarten, which means
He's saying was.
she can't start now, and he knows she can't start now because she's no longer alive. That's what makes me believe this calling off the workers does comport with what we're seeing. Roll the tape.
I'm just hoping right now that she's somewhere safe, and maybe she's there. But right now it's just like, if she's vanished, like, I want her back so bad. I want those kids back so bad. There's no cameras in the backyard or anything like that, so it's really hard to even suspect anything right now as far as how she could have left. This doesn't seem real at all. It just seems like I'm living in a nightmare and I can't get out of it. I just want them home so bad.
Yeah. And you notice he's shaking his head no while he's saying, I want them home so bad. I want them home so bad. We know the other person that was interviewed was the admitted mistress. Do we know if this mistress
They show
has
pictures
been
of her in a bikini.
questioned further by the authorities?
I mean, I
at all?
know everybody's seen that too.
Closed captioning provided by...
So guys, just a break with commercials. I I can't even fucking look at this guy, man. I mean, I've always been sickened by him, and this case has always been, you know, haunting for everybody to look at, you know. But, you know, at the end of the day, I mean, his body language speaks volumes. You know, the horrific things that this poor Bella had to see. And from my understanding is that she was a very sharp 4-year-old. And, you know, I'm a father of 2 children, 2 beautiful, young, you know, handsome men who were little babies, obviously, at one time. So I can't even fucking fathom the thought of smothering my children, of choking out my wife, and looking at the last, looking at their faces in the last. I can't even fucking, like, you know, what devil possesses someone to even get into that frame of mind? I don't know. None of us have answers. But evil does exist, guys. Evil exists, like this fucking piece of shit, Chris Watts. This evil exists out there in this world, and they're among us. If any of you guys, gals, or, you know, any ladies or guys came across this guy, they would probably think he was a nice guy, like, or just a normal guy. Like, he was able to trick people. He's able to trick people and coexist in society. And, you know, that's why you have to be so careful. You have to be so careful. You know, you have to be careful about how and what you do and who you're around. And, you know, it makes things different. It makes me, you know, obviously being in the law enforcement field, I've seen a bunch of evil similar to this, but not on this kind of level. But, you know, I've seen murder suicides. I've been first officer on the scene of a murder suicide. It's really, really horrific to see it. But when you see someone wipe out their whole entire family and an unborn child, it's just fucking, it's really, really a tough pill to swallow. It's hard to absorb it. I mean, it's emotional. It's freaking crazy, man. So I want to see what they say about his mistress. I want to see what they say about NK here. And I mean, I'm viewing this for the first time. So I'm viewing this for the first time. But, you know, this is a sad reminder that there's a lot of evil out there. There's a lot of evil. How are you, Melissa? Good to see you. You're welcome for that link, whoever put the link up. I'm going to post this whole video on my website, DutyRon.com. Go and bookmark it. Go and check it out. I'll have a link to this entire show on DutyRon.com because, you know, I'm not going to be subject to copyright issues or anything like that. So I can only listen to the audio with you guys. But so far what I've heard is really haunting. It's haunting. It's really bad. And, you know, this is all stuff that we've known. Hi, Sweet Dixie. We've known this all along, that these are extreme possibilities. But believe me, even for me to hear this is shocking.
Dr. Phil exclusive. Chris Watts' full
Here we go. We're going back.
His daughter's final words.
Chris Watts is sharing new details about the night he killed them. An attorney for Shanann's parents,
Showing
Frank
pictures
and
of the
Sandy
kids,
Rusick,
videos.
told Dylan Thomas his clients were briefed on the new information and were evaluating their next steps.
He's pled guilty. He's rotting in prison. Why are they there? Why did they go in?
As we expressed, it's our guess that there was another person they were looking into or investigating that would have required enough time to either determine if charges should be brought or if that was not an avenue to be explored. And we're unsure at this point if that's ongoing investigation or not, so we don't want to go too far down that road.
So that's not off the
Well, we
table.
know the other person that was interviewed was the admitted
Seems
mistress.
unlikely, though.
Let's take a look at this.
I think a lot of people are going to probably
This is NK.
the catalyst for his movement, but I don't think, you know, not me like instructing him, but him deciding to do that because he hadn't ended life because he was so like, infatuated with what we had going on. But, you know, like I try to put the reason to it at the end, like, why would you wipe out your family to be with me? Like, it doesn't like compute. It's like, how would that go? Like, hey, my family just disappeared, and you think that I'm gonna just not be concerned about that?
Do we know if this mistress has been questioned further by the authorities at all?
From our understanding, she hasn't, but once again, we're not that close with the investigation. It's the hope of Sandy and Frank that with this tape being out there, with the information on it, finally puts to bed any speculation that Chris had found Bella and Celeste dead at the hands of Shanann, and then in a fit of rage murdered Shanann, that these tapes put to rest any of that kind of speculation, and that Shanann's memory can be put to rest as a loving mother and a caring wife.
As painful as it is for Sandy and Frank to hear this horrific confession, are they glad to hear the facts so it does lay to rest any speculation about Shanann?
I think it might take some time, really, for them to see it as a silver lining. Right now, I think it's mostly painful.
Just pain.
Just pain. But I would think that it's helpful for them to have answers to questions that otherwise they would ask themselves forever. But they'll never understand, and none
At
of
the
us
next
will.
break,
The
at the
real
next
question of
commercial,
why
we'll
somebody
start
would
talking.
do this. This makes no sense to anyone.
Hold
If
the
you're
comments to the
unhappy in
next
your
commercial.
marriage and you're having problems, that you get a divorce and you move on. You don't kill your family and take them out like they're garbage.
That's
Shove
logical
your children
thinking.
in oil barrels.
This is not a logical person.
Just the violent nature of the crime, it can't really be explained why he would have done this.
A lot of this coming out has made Sandy quite angry, I think. She's feeling a lot of that. Obviously, it's difficult because she's having to process these emotions as they're coming in, rather than being 2, 3, 4, 5 months apart in a longer trial. They're coming at her every 2, 3 weeks. That the family made the choice, whether you believe it's the correct one or not, to not pursue the death penalty.
Oh, I wish they would have.
If it were me, I don't know how that would sit with me, knowing that she didn't know the full story.
I would want the
And
death
that might
penalty.
very well have changed the position she took.
I would want the
when
death
she
penalty, and
advocated
I
for
want
it
to do
at
it.
the time.
All I can tell you
I
is
wanna
what I might
either
do.
inject-
It would definitely have changed the calculus for
And
me.
God forgive me.
I know they're very strong Catholics.
I would wanna
and
do it
very
myself.
devout. And I think they felt that it wasn't appropriate for them to advocate for the taking of Chris's life, even though he took their daughter and grandchildren's
They're
lives.
much better people than
They
me.
didn't want to be in that
Because
position
I
of
would
being constantly
fucking pull the trigger on a firing
Felt
squad.
that the DA offering Chris a chance to not be charged with the death penalty was appropriate and something that they supported clearly.
They're better people than me.
Coming up,
The whole time he's having that conversation, he's been to the site, he's killed Cece.
All right, guys, back to commercial break. So I'm gonna look at the chat again. I'm gonna look at the chat. So that's the attorney for Cheyenne and her family. The attorney is Stephen Lambert, and he looks like he's having a hard time telling this story. He's getting emotional. I'm watching him, and you know, even the DA, Michael Rourke from the Weld County DA's office, he even said, I don't even know if we're going to get the truth out of this guy. He could be making up, you know, a sensational, wild story to make himself, in his sick, twisted mind, more famous, because you never know what this guy's capable of. But, you know, I'd like to believe, you know, for the family, if this gives them some closure to, you know, to know what's going on. I'm really upset about this. You know, as a retired police officer, this is actually, watching this really kind of irked me, like more so than I thought. You know, like I never watched NK. I never watched any of her videos. But this is all information that the attorneys, the prosecutors, and you know, the investigation team is releasing. Listen, just so you know, Dr. Phil is not going to be able to put out this information if it wasn't gotten by the right authorities. They go to very good sources within the police department and the police, you know, within the law enforcement community. This is not a show like TMZ or, you know, this isn't the Inquirer. So, you know, this is as valid as you can get straight from the source. And you guys can believe whatever you want. I'm not telling you got to believe me, but I trust the system, and I know that the police and the law enforcement are not going to let this kind of show go on. They're not going to let this go on if it's not somewhat true. But notice that they said, that attorney for the family, for Cheyenne's family said, we don't know if there's an arrest going to be made. We don't want to jeopardize anything. Attorneys know what they can and can't say. This attorney has the best right, the best interest for the family, the victim's family, you know. Just added this video to the homepage. But Josh, what I want to do is add the Dr. Phil video to the homepage so everybody could watch it in its entirety. Josh H is here. Josh, would you be able to do that for me as we're speaking so we could get that up for our United Kingdom counterparts and all of our people?
Exclusive. Chris Watts' full confession. His daughter's final words.
The defendant coldly and deliberately ended 4 lives. Not in a fit of rage, not by way of accident, but in a calculated and sickening manner. What must Bella, age 4, and Celeste, age 3, must have experienced or thought as their father, the one man on this planet who was supposed to nurture and protect them, was snuffing out their lives.
This is the DA I just spoke
The
about.
man seated to my right.
This is the
slaughtered
DA.
His daughters.
That was in the sentencing in the court.
I mean, if his admission is true, then everything we look at right here in this house tour, they're dead and gone.
How long you guys been married? So, when they got right here, married 6 this year. Yeah. So this is very unusual behavior.
This is the cop walking around.
What's this door here? Go to?
The detectives now. These are the
Yeah,
detectives.
keyboard. Their parents playing bathtub. So you normally keep it on? Yeah, because they would go in there and they'd be in soap, they'd have something and Vaseline everywhere. You know, so that was not fun. So does she normally make the beds, kids' beds? No. Would you tell your mother-in-law that she went to a friend's today? Yeah. What friend? So since the friend's house to that house. Who was she supposed to go to? That house, she told me. Said to go to their friend's house and take the kids. When did she tell you that? Morning, when we thought.
That's bullshit.
The whole time he's having that conversation, he's been to the site, he's killed Cece, he's killed Bella, he's already killed her, and he's standing there rocking back and forth. It's, yeah, absolutely unbelievable. It appears to me that Chris Watts changed in a significant way from the time they got married to the time he did these things. You know, he lost the weight, he seemed to become very narcissistic, things changed, and he lost himself. He's got 3 life sentences and 84 years to reflect on that. The thing I always found out about these kind of people is they're narcissistic. And with a narcissist, they never challenge their story. And then the first time somebody pushes back, they fold like a pup tent in a windstorm. And that's where you see him on the driveway, rocking back and forth, and he's got that deer in the headlights look. And he's got no game, he's got no story, he's got nothing. And he's laughing when
the attorneys are shaking their head.
His emotions,
the attorneys are agreeing.
And says you went to a friend's. What friend? I don't.
How do you not know where your wife went with
your
your
wife
kids?
leaves with your children, going to a friend, and you don't know which one? Does
Exactly.
she have 140 friends? What are you talking
Total
about?
bullshit.
That's a lie on its face. I mean, this is falling apart from the minute he opens his mouth. That's why this guy was caught as fast as he was. This was a malignant narcissist, and those are the ones that slip under the radar and do their damage. He's sick, he's demented, he's off the street where he should be, he never should be there.
Anybody that doesn't agree with
this.
this,
Let's talk about the fact that he
I don't know. I don't get it.
folded enough.
This guy is
to
sick
make
in
it
a lot of
clear
ways.
that Shanann was a good and loving mother, had not one thing to do with this, and let's honor her and let's honor those children. So that's
I agree
what's
with
remembered,
100,000,000%.
and
I
that's
agree with that.
the message we want to leave with America.
Coming up.
Yeah, lion sack of shit, Kyle's always, my wife, I can't even, most women, well, I mean, this is not for everybody, but most women are real neat about their house. My house is really, really neat, you know? I think you can have, I don't think you can have the background. Listen, I'm sitting here just watching a TV show, and it is what it is. You know, I'm not showing the actual video, we're just listening to it. And here we are, guys. This is, you know, this is something that for me going forward into next week, when they play part 2 of this, this is going to get interesting because there's going to be more information that comes out. And once, you know, once the Thursday comes here, Thursday is going to be D-Day. Thursday is going to be D-Day. Oh, thank you for that. I'll show you the whole thing. This is my wife at work. She does all this stuff. So she's completely responsible for the decorating of the house. So the subscription is the NYPD police car, as you see there, but with no noise. Very little noise. I hope everyone is happy with the adjustments that I made on the noise factor. The noise factor is pretty much gone. So too much bass during the video playing. I mean, I can't adjust that. I have surround sound, and it is what it is. I'll lower it. I could lower it. If I lower it, it might make it a little bit better. So I'll lower the volume on it. But if you go to my website, guys, go to DutyRon.com. Josh is probably working hard right now to put up a link to this actual whole broadcast so you guys can actually see it. Off topic, just saw DutyRon's wedding ring. Yes, I'm married 27 years. I'll be married 28 years. I'm happily married. So I'm sorry. I'm sorry about that. Sorry about that. I didn't mean to burst anybody's bubble, but yes, DutyRon is married. DutyRon is a married man. I want to just see who put that in the chat. I got to see that. God damn it, I can't even find it. It was somebody said like off topic or something like that. I'm upset about DutyRon's wedding ring. I can't find it. Oh well, whoever it was, that was pretty funny. Thank you for making me laugh. So anyways, this is it. This is it, guys. Just disturbing. Just disturbing. So here we go, guys.
Watts' full confession, his daughter's final words.
All right, so I lowered it. I lowered the volume. Thank you. All right, I'm going to go back to watching now. I'm back.
Everything we understand.
That's our understanding, yeah.
Close in age and close as sisters.
There you go, sweet Dixie. This is heartbreaking. These videos, I almost can't even watch them because as a parent, this just kills me.
Bella and Celeste, just like the one you showed, laughing and smiling and playing while they were still alive.
Has this taken a toll on Sandy and Frank as a couple?
Of course.
Or has it brought them closer together?
Sandy and Frank, they took some time, they processed it, but they processed it together. They did find strength and comfort in each other through this process.
They seem to have a really
They're showing pictures of them with the
strong
baby.
marriage, and that they lean on each other a lot. I think that they need each other at this point a lot, and that they're lucky to have each other.
Sandy has said, even though she has been briefed on the things that he said in this confession,
It's devastating.
his tape comes
Devastating.
out, and it's going to be unavoidable. She said she's going to be devastated by this, and she wants some guidance from me on how do I handle this. My hope is that we can do that in a way that is respectful.
I don't know, Robin. I don't know if he dug the grave ahead of time. He might have brought a shovel and did it. He might have brought a shovel and dug it right there.
As opposed to honoring Shanann, Bella, Cece, and Nico, and respecting this family.
The one thing that springs to mind for me, Chris said kind of once he got started, he couldn't stop. To talk to her about that as somebody who knows a bit about how sick minds work, I think that would be good to talk to her about, because I don't think that she buys it, but I think it does bother her.
In the final analysis, we need to use this to honor this family and honor this mother. And that's my commitment. That's what we're going to
do. Coming up.
Oh, guys. Just freaking devastating to see and hear it. You know, we all know what the finality is and what happened. You know, for me, it's like, God, unbelievable, man. So, you know, the hardest part about the whole thing is, the hearing of the daughter begging for him not to kill her. I mean, if that in fact is true, and I somehow right now believe it, that to me is just like, it's just going through it again. Like, if it's affecting us who, you know, we didn't know these people prior to this, could you imagine what that sounds like to the grandparents and to all the family members? It's just like, it's like being victimized all over again, you know? And that's why, like, for me, I feel like the death penalty would be fitting, and a swift death penalty, like where you could put somebody down like this, put somebody down like this, immediately, like ASAP, as soon as humanly possible, get them and put them down. Salam, my friend from Saudi Arabia. Hello, Mahid. Good to see you. Just watching a little bit of emotional piece on Chris Watts' case on DrPhil. Just watching on my TV and listening to the audio. I'm just letting you guys hear it, and I could break it down from a law enforcement standpoint. And there's really not much to break down. I don't understand, you know, obviously the mindset of somebody like this. He has to have been, you know, completely out of his mind to do this, and a complete monster. And, you know, conjuring up this kind of this kind of crime, like, he had to have thought this out a little bit. This is not something that he just did on a spur of the moment. So he had to have planned some parts of this, although it seemed like he wasn't prepared for the question and answer. Like, he was not prepared when he got questioned. So if he did any preparing, all he did was think about what he was going to do. He didn't think about what he was going to say. Because if he thought about what he was going to say, if he would have thought about what he was going to say after the fact, he really didn't have anything right to say. Whoever asked the question, I joined the New York City Police Department in 1991, and I retired just about 5 years ago, and I did 20 plus years in the NYPD. I retired as a detective. Actually, some people don't like this, but I like to show my credentials, my shield and ID. There's my shield. Oh, there's the camera. There's my detective shield, and here is my police ID for the naysayers, for all the naysayers. Get your screenshots. I'm covering my social security number, just so you know. That's why I put my finger over it. So there it is for the naysayers. That's my wallet. Anyways, so let's go back to this. I love the naysayers. It looks like it's coming back on. Looks like it's coming back on. I'm just waiting for the content to come back. Thank you guys, and thank you to all the new subscribers. I hit the bell. I shut the bells off, so all the distractions have stopped. I actually listened to it. I listened to the comments, and I actually saw that it was not good.
The baby.
Right, let's get back to
alive,
it.
and her life was taken. So we have 3 children murdered here, not 2.
Their reaction to the chilling details.
Took Celeste's Yankee blanket and just smothered her in front of Bella.
This is her parents. This is Cheyenne's parents.
Absolutely. I'm glad this is going to shut up all the people that are still saying Shannon did it.
We took a position to not support the death penalty. Knowing what you now know, what would you say to Chris Watts?
That's Monday.
They say these revelations have completely devastated them, but no matter what, they want to be strong and continue to honor the lives of daughter and grandchildren. Thanks for watching.
All right, so that's the end of it, guys. That is the end of it. I actually taped that. So let me just get into a little bit of the chat. So again, you know, as a retired NYPD detective, I've seen some heinous crimes. I got to tell you, I could sit here all day and tell you stories about some of the high crime areas that I worked in and some of the heinous acts that I've seen. So for me, this actually kind of, this kind of gets me, because obviously, for obvious reasons, this is a family that was completely taken out. This guy stuffed his daughters into an oil tank separately. He stuffed them into an opening that wasn't even wide enough to fit a body, and supposedly broke bones on the kids. When they were taken out of the tank, the skin was coming off of them. This is horrific. This is beyond animalistic. This is fucking sick. Like, in my eyes, he doesn't even deserve to be breathing. He doesn't even deserve to be breathing, guys. So I feel so strongly about this. I feel so strongly about this, guys. I really do. I feel strongly about it. Hold on a second. 2 seconds, guys. So I feel really strongly about it, and I gotta tell you, man, this case is beyond reproach. This guy is definitely a big time narcissistic, pathological liar, everything, all of the above. I mean, you can't get any worse than this. You can't get any worse than this. Thank you, Nabul. So I really feel that for Bella, for little Bella, and my heart breaks. I mean, I almost wish that he would have killed them all in their sleep, just so there was no anguish, no mental anguish or anything like that. The last minutes and the last moments of these little girls' lives are just, for me, it's a hard pill to swallow. It's hard to even fathom that, but it is what it is, and this is what happened. And I have no love for this guy. I happily, I don't know. I think that if he says, I'm not sure. I got to look into that. I don't even want to give an answer. I'm not 100% sure if he decides he wants the death penalty, if they can do that. I almost wish that it can. Hello from the UK. A malignant narcissist, said Dr. Phil. That's correct. There's so many There's so many theories, guys. I wish he would have shut his mouth, and I wish that he would have just been put down. I wish he would have put down. They travel 40 minutes with their dead mother in the truck. Yeah. Crazy, man, crazy. You know, we could sit here and say, we wish, what if. The fact of the matter is all of these people who are good people, great little babies that could have grown up and flourished to be wonderful mothers in the future, have their lives snuffed out by a selfish, sick, narcissistic freak. This guy, and this is the frightening part, is that there are people like that amongst us that can blend in, and he was a functioning, working man. He was functioning in society, got a mortgage, had a bunch of bills. I know that they were in debt, but half of America is in debt and half of the world is in debt. They had, it looked like a beautiful home and a nice life. She was a social media maven. Unlike some of you guys, I haven't been all over the social media. That was the first time I saw an NK video. I never even watched one NK video. That was the first time I saw her. And I gotta bring this up now too. And I know this will start a firestorm, but I got a bad vibe from that girl speaking. She spoke like she was, and this has no relevance to the case, but she seemed kind of trashy talking. The way she was speaking, she didn't seem like, I don't know, maybe I'm saying it the wrong way, but as a detective and someone who's investigated a lot of people, I got the vibe from her that she was kind of not being forthright. She was not being honest. She seemed to just be, I don't know, man. That was the very first time. I'm not one of these guys that looks at a lot of stuff. I never watched anything, and that was the first time I heard her talk. And she didn't, but she, how first impressions, that was my first impression of her, and it was not good. It was not good. So, say what you want. I know I'll get maybe some backlash about it. At the end of the day, that NK really just rubbed me the wrong way, the way she spoke. And I know that was not even the whole, interview. But that was the first time I ever seen her speak. I ever heard or seen her speak. So, something's not right about her. And I think that she obviously knew more about it. Maybe there's a slight chance that she was completely shocked that he wiped out everybody. Maybe he told her a different story, that he was going to just get a divorce and leave them, pack his bags and leave. I don't know, man. I don't know. So there's so many different angles to this, but I wanted to get confirmation from Josh. If Josh is still in the chat, can I get confirmation from you, Josh, if we were able to upload on the website the info? I just wanted to know if you were able to get that, Josh, and get that on there. Let me just see. Thank you for the links, Winky and Black Rose. I appreciate that. There is an embedded video of hold on a second, let me hold it. I learned something from someone in the comment section. You can hold the video, I can press my screen and hold it. There's an embedded video of the DrPhil video embedded on my site. Okay, cool, excellent. I'm just wanting to, I just want our friends, the new people who are following me, the new people who have subscribed to me, I want to help some of the people outside of the country be able to see this. So I know that a lot of people in the UK, I don't know about the Netherlands and Australia, if they had access to it. So I wanted to get that to some of the new people and some of my friends who I made. Hi, how are you? Sorry, hi Ron, how are you, Darlene? Good to see you. So I want to try to get my UK counterparts and my friends over there in England a way to see it. So, listen, I think he's full of shit too, guys. And I do think he's full of shit, but at the end of the day, we have to see. Sent you a friend's request. I'll check it out. I'll check it out. I promise. I promise. I got an overwhelming amount of responses that I'm trying to get back and forth to. And let me tell you, people, it is not freaking easy. It is not easy. That's for sure. I have the slow mode on the chat every 30 seconds. I can make it every 60 seconds if that'll slow the chat down a little bit. Go ahead, Nabul. I see you. Go ahead, Nabul. Nabul. Hello, Nabul. 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 You know, I'm not going to, you know, say nasty things about people, but I agree with some of the things I'm saying. Hello from Australia. You know, listen, guys, it is what it is, man. It is what it is. Thank you for coming in and saying you like the channel. Hello, G. Marie. Ask the Spirit. I'm liking your channel from New Jersey. Thank you for that. I've made the adjustment, like I said, to the sounds. I'm hoping you guys have seen what I did with the sounds on the broadcasts. So the acknowledgements are still here. Acknowledgements for Super Chat and for subscribing are still there, because as a broadcaster, I think it's important that everybody gets acknowledged. But I could slow the chat down a little bit. It's still flying, says Jamie. Let me see what I can do about that. Now this is going to limit it to every 60 seconds. Oh, it is. It's set to 60 seconds, guys. I have the chat is limited to post every 60 seconds per person. Thank you for that super chat, and thank you for the accolades. I appreciate that. ADA Adacor 21. Thank you so much for the super chat. So it's on 60. It's on 60, guys. I can't slow it down anymore. You know. So I just got finished listening to the audio part of it. Nabul, thank you for that. I just finished listening to the audio. Hello from Switzerland. Hello, nice to see you. Thanks for joining. I'm going to invite onto my Facebook just for. I don't usually do this, but I'm gonna do it just because. All right, so I'm back to it, guys. Again, like I said, you know, this is a development that is just, for me, to see it on screen, to see it in person, is just horrific. It's just not good. It's not good. To see these kids and to see and hear this new revelation for me is just, it's just horrifying. That's the best analogy for it. It's horrifying, guys. Horrifying. And I don't have 1 ounce of love, and I lose a tremendous amount of respect for anybody that would defend or try to write letters to this guy or befriend him in jail. I would just say this right now. Exactly. Everybody, I got emotional there. It brought emotions to me, and I'm a seasoned vet when it comes to this stuff. So at the end of the day, if someone's writing letters to this guy in prison, or sending pictures or wanting to correspond with him, you should go get yourself mental health check and evaluation. That's what I say. I won't bash or, you know, I won't say bad things about the person, but I would recommend you go and get mental health checks. If you feel that you want to send bikini pictures and write letters to this guy, then you too are fucked in the head, and you should go and get yourself checked out. And apologize for the foul language, but if you are sticking up for him or trying to make a conversation or trying to chat with him, you need to go seek mental health counseling. And that's a fact. I'm going to tell you that is a fact, big time. So all those people who sent letters to Charles Manson are the same rules apply. The same rules apply. You're a sick, twisted person. If you send letters to Charles Manson, all of these crazy, sick, twisted serial killers, for me, you're just as bad as them if you do that. And you need to go get yourself a mental health check. You need mental health counseling immediately, because that is really, really beyond reproach. And I got no time for anybody like that. If I get news or if I get word factual that somebody that I know on social media is doing that, if you guys know about that, send me emails or DMs about it and let me know who they are, so this way I can stay far away from those people. Stay far away from them. And any hungry female that wants to go and get someone who snuffed out his whole family and took his beautiful young daughters, 4 and 3 years old, and an unborn child, and fucking did what he did to them, and you want to correspond with them, you're the lowest of life in my eyes. In my eyes. And I got no time for somebody like that. You know, this new stuff is alluding to that the Bella was alive, driving all the way to the site, and that he took the blanket, smothered her, and then put her inside the tank. So that to me would indicate, if that's true, and this is a big if it's true, he let her sit in the car, in a car seat, with her dead sister and her dead mom wrapped in a sheet inside that vehicle all the way for 45 minutes in the car with him. If that's the case, that takes this to a whole new level, guys. That takes it to a whole new level of sickness. So, if that's true, this is a guy who we don't know what we're getting from him. We don't know. Even the experts, expert psychologists and criminologists, in the field are baffled by this guy. And there'll be studies done on him. There'll be interviews, but who knows what he's, what's the truth and what's not. They say, the lawyer said on Dr. Phil, he's seeking God. Most people who commit heinous acts, they go to the Lord. Most people who have developed cancer, terminal cancer, if you're not, and listen, I'm telling you this because of experience. If you're not a religious person, 9 times out of 10 people, when they get close to meeting their maker, when you're terminally ill, you turn to God because it's comforting. If you're a little bit religious, if you're brought up a little bit with religion. Now this guy is deciding that he's going to turn to the Lord for forgiveness for what he did. Under Catholic religion, you're forgiven, believe it or not. But he was not religious, and now he's turning to religion to find solace and peace with himself. And he's now going to say, oh, well, I'm praying every day and I want to come clean. That doesn't jive in my book. That doesn't jive in my book, guys. So the chat's moving so fast. I apologize that I can't get to all of your chats. A demonic possession, I don't know, man. I constantly question when I would, I've had more than a few cases while I was a police officer on patrol. Don't forget, guys, I patrolled some of the toughest streets in New York City in Brownsville, New York. Brownsville, East New York, Brooklyn. Go look that up. And when you see Brownsville, East New York, Brooklyn, PSA 2 is where I worked. It's the housing area. I was a housing authority police officer, then New York City police officer when we merged in 1995. I saw a lot of heinous crimes. I saw bodies cut up and put in suitcases. I saw bodies dumped in dirty garbage lots. I saw bodies stuffed under beds. I saw, bodies shot dead on the street. Everything from cut up, chopped up pieces of body parts put in suitcases to kids. I had one case where a kid 7 years old was strangled and shoved down a 7th floor garbage compactor all the way down to the basement. They put him on the 7th floor, stuffed him in the garbage compactor, closed the chute, the body went down, and it got compacted by a garbage compactor. I saw the medical examiner, and I was the first officer on the scene when we cut the garbage bag open. The kid's foot was compound fractures on both legs, crushed into just a 5-foot section of garbage, just crushed. And I was on the case, on the scene, first officer on the scene, and It was a transvestite sanitation worker who was having a problem with his lover, who had a kid from a previous relationship, and the kid was getting in the way, and he wanted to dispose of the kid because he was a garbage man. He worked for the New York City Sanitation Department, and he fucking took the kid and strangled him, shoved him down the 7 years old, a little kid, threw him down the compactor, threw him down the garbage disposal chute down into the compactor. And his thinking was the kid was getting in the way and he just wanted to get rid of him. And it was hoping that he would be put out for garbage and put into a garbage truck and dumped into a garbage, into a landfill. But the housing worker, when he went to pick up the bag to put it out onto the curb, he felt the weight of the kid's body. They cut open the bag, saw the leg, and then they called us, called 911, and we came there. It was in the early 90s. I was on that case, Darlene. I got first officer. I ID'd at the medical examiner's office the next day. I was there on the scene. I'll Google the case and I'll pull it up. Actually, I'm going to do it right now. Thank you for the super chat. Thank you for the super chat. I'm going to Google it right now. I'm going to get it. That was horrific. Horrific case, guys. Horrific case. All right, I gotta try to find this. Anyways, I'll get it. There's a bunch of things I have to scroll through them, so it's not it's not as easy as I thought it would be. But if someone could pull that up, that would be cool. It was in East New York. I believe it was the Linden. It was the Pink Houses. That's what it was. I'm gonna put it in Pink Houses. I think I got it. I think I got it. Damn it, I can't find it. I'll find it for the next broadcast. I'll find it for the next broadcast. So, anyways, I think I'm going to end this broadcast now. I think we've done enough here. We've done enough coverage on this here. Linden Houses in East New York. There it is. I thought it was Pink, but it's the Linden Houses. They're very close to each other. Let me Google that. Still, I'm not coming up with it. If anybody could come up with that link, send it to me on my email, dutyron@aol.com. So, anyways, yes, I'm gonna sign off, guys. Peace and love from DutyRon. Thank you so much for joining in on the chat. Thank you to anybody who has subscribed or given super chat during the broadcast. Thank you to all my moderators for all your valuable work here on the broadcast, and I really appreciate all the positive interaction. You know, I don't pay any attention to the negative interaction. I won't give it the time of day, and I asked everybody in the chat not to give it the time of day, because those are the very people who do bring negative chat into the combo. They're looking for attention. Don't give them the very thing that they're looking for. Take that from me, because I know the deal. So guys, I have a lot of love and respect for everyone who positively interacts during the broadcast. I really, really appreciate that. And I'll see you guys all on the next one. I'm working late tonight doing some executive protection, so I will do a mobile broadcast from a remote site tonight, but it won't be about a case. I'm going to just go live, and I think we'll talk and listen to some police calls on the radio scanner. So if anybody likes that kind of stuff, tune in. But when you tune in, we're not going to be talking about cases. It's going to be live radio police broadcast. You get to hear in New York City some of the crime cases, some of the crime calls live and in progress right from the street. And I'll break down the codes and all the wording and all of the stuff. And I'll tell you about the calls as they happen. If you're interested in that type of stuff, tune in for me tonight around 11 p.m. Eastern. I'll be on my remote Streamlabs, and I'll try to get all the noises off from the remote. So peace and love from New York City. DutyRon signing off. Thank you for everybody being here. God bless.